Hey everyone, and welcome. So if you're anything like me, you love being out in nature, but the idea of camping in the summer heat can be, well, a little daunting. Today, we're diving into an amazing guide from Purple Tents that's all about mastering the art of staying cool while camping and doing it with a little bit of style. Let's get into it.
You know the feeling, right? You imagine this perfect, peaceful getaway, but then reality hits. You're inside a tent that feels more like an oven. That dream trip can turn into a sticky, sweaty ordeal really fast. But here's the good news. It really doesn't have to be that way.
I just love this line from the guide. It pretty much says it all. You're camping, not slow cooking. The goal here is to enjoy yourself, not to feel like you're being baked alive in a nylon shell. So let's talk strategy.
First up, let's talk about setting up your personal oasis. This is all about getting a handle on your environment before it gets a handle on you. Seriously, where and how you pitch your tent is probably the most important first step to staying cool.
Okay, so this is your first line of defense against the heat. Step 1, be a scout. Before you even think about unpacking, find that sweet spot with natural shade from trees or a cliff face. Step 2, bring your own shade. A simple tarp or pop-up canopy can be a lifesaver. And step 3 is all about timing. Do yourself a favor and set up your tent when it's cool, either at dawn or dusk. You don't want to be sweating buckets before you've even started.
So once the tent is up, you gotta get that air moving. Ventilation is everything. Look for tents with tons of mesh and try to position the doors and windows to catch any cross breeze you can find. But honestly, the real game changer here is a small battery-powered fan. On those still hot nights, it makes a world of difference.
Okay, this has to be my favorite hack from the whole guide. It is so simple, but it is absolutely brilliant. Before you leave home, just freeze a couple of water bottles. At night, stick them in your tent. They act like little personal AC units, cooling down the air right around you. And the best part? As they melt, you've got ice-cold water to drink. That's some serious multitasking. All right, so we've handled the tent and our little campsite oasis. Now for part 2, hacking your own personal thermostat. This section is all about things you can do directly to your body to cool down fast. When that afternoon heat really starts to hit, these are your secret weapons. A little spray bottle for an instant mist, or a cold, wet bandana on your neck or wrists, these things work wonders. And hey, if there's a river or a lake nearby, a quick dip is the ultimate reset button. Even just a little sponge bath can totally change your whole mood.
Let's talk camp fashion, because what you wear makes a huge difference. Think of this as a little fabric face-off. In one corner, you've got your best friends for hot weather. Light, breathable stuff like cotton, linen, and bamboo. And in the other corner, the enemy. Heavy synthetics that just trap heat against your skin. The choice here is pretty clear.
So, let's build that perfect hot weather camping outfit. You want to go for loose, light-colored clothes that let your skin breathe. A wide-brimmed hat isn't just a look, it's essential. And I love this tip about UPF-rated shirts. All the sun protection without feeling all greasy from sunscreen. And please, for the love of all that is holy, choose breathable shoes to avoid the dreaded swamp foot.
And here's where the sassy part really comes into play. I love this reminder that just because you're being practical doesn't mean you have to abandon style. Why not pack a fabulous, breezy caftan to lounge around in? It's the perfect mix of comfort and camp couture. Okay, on to our third and final pillar, outsmarting the sun. We've talked about your space and your body. Now it's time to talk about strategy. This is all about planning your time and your choices, so you're working with the heat, not fighting against it.
This schedule right here is so simple, but it is pure genius. The idea is to do all your hard work, your hiking, your exploring, your big cooking projects in the cooler parts of the day. So before 10 a.m. and after 4 p.m. And that chunk in the middle, from 10 to 4, that becomes your sacred midday rest time. Nap, read, just chill.
And let's be really clear about that midday rest. This is not about being lazy. This is a survival strategy. Embracing a siesta in the shadiest spot you can find is the smartest and, frankly, most fabulous thing you can do when that sun is beating down.
You know, even what you eat can make you feel hotter or cooler. Big, heavy meals actually make your body work harder and generate more internal heat. So, the smart play is to go for light, hydrating foods. Things like watermelon, cucumber sandwiches, cold pasta salads. They're refreshing and, bonus, they don't require you to stand over a blazing hot campfire to cook.
And we absolutely cannot forget our furry camping buddies. They're even more sensitive to heat than we are. So make sure they always have a shady spot and plenty of fresh, clean water.
A cooling mat is another fantastic idea for them. And this is so important. Always check the ground with the back of your hand. If it feels too hot for you to touch, it's definitely too hot for their paws.
Okay, now we've arrived at the single most important rule of all. It's the foundation for everything else we've talked about. And the guide puts it perfectly. Hydration isn't just necessary, it's glamorous.
Hydrating like a pro means more than just taking a swig of water when you feel thirsty. Keep your water ice cold in an insulated bottle. It's way more appealing that way. Definitely add some electrolyte tablets to replace all the salts you're sweating out. And remember, things like alcohol and caffeine can actually work against you and dehydrate you. But my favorite tip? Make it fun. A little sparkling water with some frozen berries? That's a camp mocktail. It feels like a treat. So, as we wrap this all up, here's the main takeaway. Staying cool and comfortable while camping in the heat isn't about one magic trick. It's a whole approach. It's about your body, your mindset, your gear, and your strategy all working together. So the real question is, with all these tips and tricks in your back pocket, are you ready to get out there and camp sassy, not sweaty? You absolutely can thrive, not just survive on your next warm weather adventure. Thanks so much for tuning in, and happy camping.